Good day. Welcome to News Express. A silent political battle is beginning to intensify across Nigeria, and unlike previous election controversies driven by campaign attacks or public rallies, this one revolves around something far less visible but incredibly powerful: zoning. It is not written into the constitution. It is not enforced by law. Yet, for decades, it has quietly shaped the country's political balance, influenced presidential calculations, and helped powerful parties manage internal stability. Now, ahead of the 2027 election, that fragile understanding is facing one of its biggest tests yet. For years, zoning has functioned as an official political arrangement designed to maintain regional balance within Nigeria's deeply diverse political environment. The principle is simply in theory: rotate major political offices between different regions in order to reduce feelings of exclusion and maintain national cohesion. While this arrangement has never been formally codified into law, it has become deeply embedded in the country's political culture, particularly within major political parties. However, what once served as a stabilizing mechanism is now becoming a source of growing tension. As the 2027 election approaches, political actors across the country are beginning to interpret zoning in very different ways. Some argue that the existing political arrangement should continue in the interest of fairness and stability. Others believe that competence and electoral viability should take priority over regional rotation. This disagreement is gradually evolving into a broader struggle over power, representation, and political survival. The issue is especially sensitive because zoning is closely tied to regional expectations. In many parts of Nigeria, political stakeholders see the rotation of power as more than strategy. They see it as a recognition and inclusion. When groups feel that these expectations are being ignored or manipulated, frustration can quickly spread within party structures. This is why zoning debates rarely remain quiet for long. They tend to trigger emotional reactions, strategic calculations, and intense behind-the-scenes negotiations. Within major political parties, the challenge is becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Large parties are made up of different regional blocs, influential stakeholders, and competing ambitions. Balancing all these interests requires careful negotiation, especially when presidential ambitions begin to emerge. Ahead of 2027, these internal pressures are already becoming more visible as political actors quietly position themselves for influence. Part of the problem is that zoning itself was never designed to handle every political scenario perfectly. It operates more as a political understanding than a strict formula, which means different groups often interpret it differently depending on their interest. One faction may argue that maintaining rotation is necessary for unity, while another may insist that political realities require flexibility. This ambiguity creates room for disagreement, especially during highly competitive election cycles. The situation becomes even more complicated when electoral calculations are added into the equation. Political parties are not only thinking about fairness or internal balance, they are also thinking about winning elections. If party leaders believe a particular candidate has stronger national appeal, they may feel pressured to prioritize electability over zoning expectations. But doing so risks alienating other factions within the party, potentially creating resentment that can weaken unity ahead of the general election. This tension is one reason why zoning discussions are now attracting so much attention. What may appear publicly as routine political consultations are often connected to much deeper debates about who should lead, which region should produce candidates, and how parties can maintain internal cohesion without losing strategic advantage. Observers are increasingly warning that mishandling zoning could create serious consequences for major parties. Internal disagreements over candidate selection have historically contributed to defections, factional crises, and weakened electoral performance in Nigeria. When influential political actors feel sidelined, they rarely disappear quietly. Many retain strong grassroots structures and loyal supporters who can influence outcomes even outside their original parties. Another important dimension of the current zoning debate is generational change. Younger voters are increasingly questioning whether regional rotation alone should determine political leadership. Many argue that governance performance, economic management, and accountability should matter more than geographical calculations. This perspective is gradually reshaping political conversations, particularly online, where issue-based engagement is becoming more prominent. At the same time, supporters of zoning insist that Nigeria's political diversity makes regional balance essential for national stability. From their perspective, abandoning zoning entirely could deepen feelings of exclusion and intensify regional political competition. They argue that while the system may be imperfect, it has helped maintain a fragile political equilibrium in a country with complex ethnic, religious, and regional dynamics. This clash between traditional political arrangements and evolving political expectations is now becoming one of the defining undercurrents of the road to 2027. On one side are those who believe unwritten agreements must continue to preserve stability. On the other side are those who believe Nigeria's politics must gradually move beyond regional calculations towards a stronger focus on governance and national performance. The growing uncertainty around zoning is also affecting alliance building. Political actors are becoming increasingly cautious about revealing long-term intentions because much depends on how zoning debates eventually unfold within their parties. This has created an atmosphere of strategic ambiguity, where consultations are happening quietly while public declarations remain limited. As the election cycle moves closer, the pressure surrounding these unwritten agreements is likely to intensify further. Every major political movement, alliance, and consultation will increasingly be interpreted through the lens of zoning and regional balance. This means that even routine political decisions could quickly become national controversies if they are perceived to violate established expectations. The broader implication is that zoning is no longer just an internal party issue. It is becoming a national political fault line capable of shaping alliance, influencing voter perception, and determining how unified major parties remain ahead of the election. For now, however, the real battle is not yet being fought openly on campaign stages. It is unfolding quietly inside party structures, negotiation rooms, and strategic consultations where the future balance of power in Nigeria is already being debated. Because in Nigerian politics, some of the most powerful rules are the ones that were never officially written down. Yet breaking them can change everything. That's all for now on News Express. And to our amazing viewers, kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Chidera Eso. Thank you for watching. Do have a beautiful day.